Hey everybody, welcome to Comiskey Park for Game 33 of the 1977 Chicago White Sox replay. When we last left you, it was a game between Cleveland and Chicago, and it was Steve Stone throwing a complete game gem 2-0 over the Indians. Well, the following game did not go so well for the White Sox as they got drubbed early and often. Jim Bibby shut down the White Sox in only one run, and unfortunately Ken Brett was the recipient of getting clobbered, and it was a 10-1 victory for the Indians. And when it got to be 10-1 in the seventh, I took the liberty of putting in some of the scrubs just to get them a couple of at-bats, or at least one at-bat, so a lot of the changes there went on. So Sox fell to 18-13 after that game. And of note of that game, the Sox turned 4 double plays, so it could have been a lot worse. And shortstop Alan Bannister made 3 errors, all pretty much early on. It was an E6 here in the second. Another two E6s in the same inning, I should say. 2 errors by him in the same inning. And let's see, where did he make the other error? Oh, in the seventh. So he made 2 early on that cost him some earned runs. And it just went downhill from there. 3 in the first for the Indians. Lots of base hits there, no errors in the first. Ken Brett just didn't have it, so they dropped to 18-13. Now, the previous game, one just before this one, they took it to the Indians 3-1 behind the strong pitching of Francisco Barrios, and Laren LeGros came in and got a save pitching an inning and 2/3. Eckersley actually pitched a complete game, but he gave up 2 home runs to Richie Zisk, and that was the difference. He had all 3 RBIs, a solo shot in the second and a 2-run shot in the fourth. He's only had 4 home runs, so only had 2 home runs up to that point, but now he's got 4. So that's helping him out, just a little bit. All right, now let's look at what we got going on today. So they are now 19-13, heading into this clash, game number 33. In real life they were 20-12, so we're almost right at the point we need to be. Let's look at the starting lineups, and the first thing you notice about the Kansas City Royals is there's no George Brett and there's no Amos Otis. There was a reason for that. Well, Amos Otis did not play the week of May 13th to May 20th, and this game is being played on May 18th. So I don't know if he tweaked something or what it was, but he's not available to play. Now, George Brett's the same way. George Brett is out from, let's see, May 8th to May 25th. And so I did some research. I went to the game from May the 7th between Texas and Kansas City. I don't know how well it's going to show up on this phone, but basically what happened is there was a rundown on a missed suicide squeeze, and you can check this out on Retro Sheet. This is from May the 7th, 1977, Kansas City and Texas. And what basically happened was there was a fight that broke out, and I'm presuming that George Brett got injured in this fight because the little reference book I was reading said he had an elbow injury. So I'm assuming it came from this fight, because after this game he did pinch run on the 8th, but then again after that he didn't appear again until the 25th. So something tells me there was something in this fight that caused that, and it was basically a missed suicide squeeze when Bump Wills ran into Darrell Porter, and then says Claudell Washington was involved, and there was a whole lot of ejections going on. So that's probably why George Brett did not appear. And I also went back to the Sporting News baseball guide under the Kansas City Royals team section, and let's see if I can find it here real quick. It said Brett, who missed 12 games with an elbow injury and another 5 with an infection. So I'm assuming the 12 games they're talking about with an elbow injury is the one we just showed. So that didn't help his cause either. So we'll go through the starting lineups. Like I said, they're not going to have 2 of the main cogs, so the White Sox will try to take advantage of that. We got Dave Nelson, the DH, Hal McRae in left. Al Cowens is moved from right field to center to take over for AO. John Mayberry's at first, Darrell Porter catching. Cookie Rojas takes third base in place of Brett. Tom Plaquette's in right field. Patek's at short, and Frank White second base with Dennis Leonard on the mound. Now let's look at the record here. I think, did I write down the record? I thought I did, maybe I didn't. I guess I didn't. I thought I had written down what their records were, but I guess I didn't. I thought I had it in front of me, but I got so many papers going around here, I don't know what's what. So I think Leonard is 3-2 on the replay, but don't quote me on it. I'll have to go back and update that later. For the White Sox, we got Ralph Garr in left, Bannister at short, Ord at second, Ziskin right, Spencer at first, Gamble DH, Lemon center, Soderholm third, Essien catcher. So pretty much a standard lineup with Chris Knapp on the bump. So all those festivities out of the way. So in case you were wondering where George Brett or Amos Otis was, now you know. All right, so one last thing before we get going, and this is kind of homage to Uncle Ron at Retro Sports Network. I was fishing through some old baseball books and happened to find this, a Jimmy the Greek Snyder 1982 baseball book. And of course Ron is doing a replay, in action replay, of the 1982 season. Well, if you look at Jimmy the Greek, and there he is. Jimmy the Greek mainly did football, but I guess he forecast a lot of things. And one of the things he forecast, if I can find it real quick, I was hoping I had it in front of me. There we go. National League scouting reports, Eastern Division. Says here there will be no shortage of Molson and Labatt's beer in Montreal this summer, so Expo fans will have plenty of chances to be merry and sing the Happy Wanderer at Olympic Stadium. The Expos will waltz to their second straight NL East title. And that's exactly what they're doing in Ron's replay, an action replay. It's not the Cardinals or the Phillies, it is the Expos, as predicted by Jimmy the Greek. And I do think, I mean, I'm kind of wondering how the Expos didn't win myself. I don't know the whole story that season, if they had injuries or what it was, but certainly they should have won. Now, Jimmy the Greek does have St. Louis second and Philadelphia third, so he's pretty decent there. Let's see who he had. He actually had the Astros winning the West. That was certainly way off, as the Dodgers and Atlanta battled all year long, and in Ron's replay, the Dodgers were kind of running away with it. So just a neat little book that I found. I don't even know where I got that. I think I got it off eBay a long time ago, but when I was doing some research, they actually had Oakland winning the West with Billy Ball, and obviously that fell way short. He has the Angels. I think he had the Angels in the middle of the pack. Where are the Angels on this thing? Did they have them last? No. I don't know where the Angels are. Where did he put the Angels? Did he not rate the Angels, or am I missing something? See the Twins. He's got the Angels down here at 5-1, so obviously, I don't know if I'm missing a page. Did that page get ripped out? No. I don't know where the rest of the thing is. Anyway, he didn't pick the Angels, put it that way. He picked the A's. So his division winners in each division, he had the Yankees in 82, which obviously didn't work out. Milwaukee won that division with Detroit and actually with Baltimore, but so he had Baltimore way down, thinking they were going to have a down year. So Jimmy the Greek's picks were the Yankees facing the A's in the ALCS, and he had the Astros facing the Expos in the NLCS. So not very good selections there. He missed on all four. So, but that's Jimmy the Greek for you. He kind of maybe prides himself on getting things wrong and just stirring up the pot. I don't know. But anyway, we move on to the actual game itself, and Chris Knapp is going to step in to the box, and he'll be facing Dave Nelson, the DH. So obviously, like I said, a different type lineup for the Royals today. So we'll see how that goes. And since it's Memorial Day weekend, I'm trying to go patriotic with the red, white, and blue dice. So still going to use the white die to determine the roll. Instead of having 2 red dice or 2 blue dice, I'm kind of mixing them up, red and blue. But obviously the white die is going to be the driver that drives everything, and the D20 is blue. So here we go. Dave Nelson facing Chris Knapp in game 33 of the White Sox replay. It is now underway. And we get a 6-6. Gotta get used to this red and white and blue stuff. 6-6 against a right-hander is a strikeout for Knapp. So Knapp puts Nelson to rest with a strikeout. One away. Here's Hal McRae. We get a 1-5 for McRae, and that's going to be a solid single. So Hal McRae, 1-out single. He is a B stealer. Let's check. Knapp is a 0 hold, and the catcher is a 0. So a B stealer is a 13. He'd be a 1 to 11 if he wanted to try to steal. He stole 18 bases on the season, got caught 14. You know what? They may have trouble manufacturing offense with these injuries, so we're going to have him try to steal. It's a 1, 2, and 11, I believe. But let me check, though, because I think I was given that -2 because of the super advanced, and I believe I was making a mistake on that. So let's go back. Since I'm trying to do the advanced version, we're going to go back to the holding base runner section here for the advanced game. And McRae, who is a B stealer, is actually going to get a -3 deduction in the advanced game. So it's a -3. So check that, -3, not -2. So he starts with a 13. So now it's a 50-50 shot, 1 to 10. They're still going to take the chance. So 1 to 10, he'll be safe. It's 20, he's out regardless. Didn't matter what the factors were. As Essien throws him out. 1 away, and here, or 2 away now. Here's Al Cowens. So Whitey kind of taking the risk without his stars in the game to try to manufacture something that just didn't pay off. 6-4 for Knapp against Cowens. His ground ball third base X at Soderholm. He's a 2 E11. We are using the super advanced fielding, one of the few super advanced things. That's a 1. That's trouble. That is a 1, and that is a base hit. There's an 11. He's an E11 with an 11. There is no 11 for an error, but it is a base hit, so that caught stealing looms large now. Now Cowens is a B stealer also, but I think they're going to let Mayberry swing away. They don't want to run themselves totally out of an inning. We give Mayberry a chance. 6-8 against a lefty, and he came through. Look at this. 1 to 10 is a triple. 11 to 20 is a double. So either way, the run might score. 1 to 10 is going to automatically score. And it's a 9, so it does automatically score on the triple by John Mayberry. Don't think of him hitting triples. He hit 1 triple all year, and he found it certainly right there off the card of Chris Knapp. So after you think you're out of the inning, the 2-out space is empty. We get a single and now a triple. Makes it a 1-0 Royals lead. And here's Darryl Porter. Knapp trying to get out of this mess. 1-9, and he strikes out Porter to end the inning. So 1 run for the Royals on that triple by Mayberry, and Kansas City takes an early 1-0 lead. Kansas City won, and the Sox coming to bat. And on the mound for the Royals, Dennis Leonard, right-hander, facing Ralph Garr. So Ralph Garr steps in against Leonard. 6-10 against a lefty is a ground ball shortstop X. That is Freddie Patek. And Freddie Patek, 2 E32. 2 and a 2, that's trouble. That's a base hit. He's an E32, and that's a 15. So E32, there is a 15. How about that? E32 for the shortstop right here has a 15, 1 base error. So it's a single plus an error. So Garr will get second base. Single plus the E6 on Patek. So Garr is at second base with nobody out for Alan Bannister. And speaking of errors, Bannister, of course, made 3 of those 2 games ago. 3-12 for Bannister against a right-hander. It's a ground ball second base B. That'll get the runner to third base. So doesn't get the hit, but he does move the runner to third. So now with less than 2 outs, Orta can bring him home with a ground ball, sacrifice fly, whatever, because the Royals are playing deep. They don't want a big inning. 6-7 is a strikeout. So Leonard gets the big strikeout on Orta, and now he can get out of this by getting Richie Zisk. But that's easier said than done. Zisk getting over 300 on the season. 6-11, but when it comes off the pitcher card, that helps. 6-11 against a right-hander is a fly ball right field X. That's Tom Poquette. See if he can catch it as well as leave the light on for you. He's a 3E9. He's a 3E9. So a 3E9 as a right fielder. 3 and a 2. That's going to fall in. So these low D20 rolls are really hurting the defense. A 3 and a 2 is a double. Double with 2 stars, but it doesn't matter because Gar's on third. He's going to score anyway. So Zisk with a double. And now we'll check for an error. That's an RBI for Zisk. Now, let's see here. 15, and he is an E9. E9, there is no 15, so no error on the play, but it is going to be a double. A double for Richie Zisk. And the ball game is tied. How about that? Tie ball game. Here's Jim Spencer. Sox wasted no time getting back in the game. 5-2. Ground ball second base X. That's Frank White. And Frank White is a 1 E10. So no need for the D20. Just looking for an error here. E10 and a 13. There is no 13. It's good play for Frank White. After one inning in the books here at Comiskey, we are tied at a run apiece, as both teams strike early against the respective starting pitchers. So 1-1, we go to the second inning, and it'll be Cookie Rojas taking over for George Brett, for the injured George Brett. Rojas, 6-6 is a strikeout against Knapp, so Knapp puts him away, one away. That would have been a walk against Brett with a lefty. That would have been a walk, but Rojas strikes out. Here's Poquet. 1-9 for Poquet. He's going to ground it back to Knapp, and that's an easy out. 2 up, 2 down, and that's going to bring up Freddie Patek. 5-12. 5-12's ground ball second base X. That's Orta. He's a 4 E23. D20 rolls have not been kind. A 4-9, he might make that play. A 4 and a 9, he does get to it. That's a 7. E23, there is no 7. So it's a good play for Orta. And the inning's over. So a little more pitching here in the top of the second. See if it carries over to the bottom of the second for Dennis Leonard. Sometimes the starting pitcher will take a while to get in his groove, so you can get him early. You get him at all, you get him early. Here's Oscar Gamble. Gamble, a 111, and that's a home run right there. No ballpark diamond shot needed because we're playing advanced, so that's a solid home run for Oscar Gamble. And the Sox, the Southside Hitmen, strike again, and they take the lead. All right, here is Chet Lemon. 3-10 for Lemon. He's going to ground to first. Handled by Mayberry. One away. Brings up Eric Soderholm. 6-5 as a ground ball to third, handled by Rojas. 2 away. It's going to bring up Jim Essien, the catcher. Doing very well for himself. 4-8 against a right-hander. 1-13 as a single. 14-20, he will ground it to Rojas. That's a single, so he snuck it past Rojas, and Essien's hot hitting continues. He's an E-stealer, he will not be held. Here's Ralph Garr. 5-2, ground ball second base X, that's Frank White. Again, he's a 1, so we don't need the D20, because it's going to be the third out anyway if he makes the play. But we do have a 14, and Frank White is a 10. So an E10, there is no 14, so it's good play for Frank White. And Garr is retired, but the home run by Oscar Gamble gives the Sox the lead. After 2 complete from Comiskey, it's Sox 2, Royals 1. Dennis Leonard, a little chagrined. Chris Knapp, his fatigue is a 5, so he could get the bullpen. Now they've had 2 days off, have the Sox, between games. Their last game was on May the 15th, and now we're at May the 18th, so I don't know if I know there's one scheduled day off. The other one might have been a rain out. I'm not sure, because this Royal Series is only a 2-game set, so I don't know if it was an originally scheduled game that got rained out or what. But the bullpen is completely fresh, so Nat, if he goes as 5, that's probably all they're going to ask of him. Then they'll turn it over to the bullpen. Right now is Frank White, number 9 hitter, 6-8, and that's a solid double off a Knapp. So White. And back come the Royals, a leadoff double for Frank White. Brings up the top of the order in Dave Nelson. 3-7 Ground ball second base A plus injury. Well, we're not doing injuries because we're doing as played, but the ground ball second base will move the runner to third. So that'll get White to third base with 1 out. And the Sox are going to play the infield in. They're going to take a chance, play the infield in against Hal McRae. And had they been playing the infield in on this last at bat, that plus sign would have meant a base hit. But that's the chance you take playing the infield in. Here's Hal McRae. 6-8, another double. So we found that 6-8 result again, so it didn't matter where the infield was. It was a double for McRae, and we are tied at 2 apiece. So 2-2 as Hal McRae gets his second hit of the game. He's 2 for 2. Here's Al Cowens, 110, and that's another big hit for Al Cowens. 1-13 is a triple. 14-20 is a double. That's a triple for Al Cowens, second triple of the game by the Royals. So even without Brett and Otis, they are still hitting. And they've taken a 3-2 lead off of the Sox and Chris Knapp. And again, the infield's going to have to come in for John Mayberry. 3-9, fly ball center field B. That's a question mark. Possible sacrifice fly. So again, for those that are not familiar, I'll show it in the book just so you can see it and so I can keep myself straight. When there is a fly ball center field B in the advanced rules, you take the runner rating, the outfield arm, and then you add 2 and you get a range of safeness. And if you get that safeness, you score. If you don't get the safeness, you're out. So let's look at the run rating of Al Cowens. Al Cowens is a 16. The arm rating of the center fielder is Chet Lemon, and Chet Lemon is a 0 arm, so it stays. Al Cowens does not change, he stays a 16. Then you add the 2, so that makes it an 18. So 1-18 he will score, 19-20 he'll get thrown out. It's a 3, so it's a successful sacrifice fly to center field for John Mayberry. And another run comes in for the Royals. They now lead it 4-2 here in the top of the third. So Chris Knapp not fooling anybody. He may be put to rest early here. 2 outs, base is empty for Darryl Porter. Struck him out, and that's going to end the inning, but damage done. 3 runs. We go to the bottom of the third. It is a 4-2 Royals lead. So Leonard, a little bit better mood now, better spirits, getting that 4-2 lead. Knapp may not be around much longer. Bullpen activity. Wilbur Wood is already doing some light tossing down the bullpen, and he's got the rubber arm. He can go for multiple innings if need be. Here's Alan Bannister start things off against Leonard. 4-6, and here come the Sox. 1-8's a triple, 9-20 is a single. 1-8, he's got a 3-bagger, and he does. It's a triple for Alan Bannister. So Alan Bannister had 3 triples on the season, gets 1 there, and that brings up George Order. They're going to play the infield back with nobody out. They don't want a big inning if they can avoid it. They'll give it the run to get the out. 2-3, same situation here. Fly ball right field, question mark B. So the right fielder's arm, Tom Poquette. It's not Al Cowens like it usually is. Al Cowens would have a -4 arm, but Poquette is a 0 arm. So that's a huge difference not having Cowens in right field. The runner, Bannister, runs at a 17. So it basically turns to a 19. So anything other than a 20 and he's safe. And it's an 8, so he is safe. Sacrifice fly, but that not having Al Cowens in right, having him in center, really impacted that one. But it's a sacrifice fly by Orta. Sox get a run back. It's 4-3 with 1 out. And the base is clear for Richie Zisk. 4-10. Fly ball to left. Again, remember, we're not doing ballpark effects, so we're going to ignore all those symbols. It's just a fly to left. 2 down for Jim Spencer. 5-7, struck him out. So Spencer's out of there. But the run comes in. The Sox have a single run in each inning. Not enough, though. They trail 4-3 after 3. And Chris Knapp is on a short leash, as Bob Lemon's not going to take too kindly to giving up a lot of runs here. So Cookie Rojas will lead things off. Place of Brett to 4-8, and that's a 1-11 single. 12-20 is a line out to Soderholm. It's a 15, so Soderholm snags it. One away, and that'll bring up Tom Poquette. 5-6 against the lefty is a strikeout. That's out number 2. So Knapp, feeling the pressure, knows he better produce. Coming through here in the 4th, here's Patek. 1-7, and he strikes out Patek. So Knapp must have gotten the riot act read to him by Bob Lemon, a former pitcher himself, and said, if you want to stay in this game, you better do something. So Knapp gets a 1-2-3 4th, keeps his team in the game. It's 4-3 as we go to the bottom of the 4th. And Oscar Gamble, who homered his first trip, is up again. 6-10 against a left-hander is a ground ball shortstop X. That is Freddie Patek. And Patek is a 2 E32. 2 and a 16, he'll get to that. An 11 E32, is there an 11? No, there's no 11, so it's good play for Patek. One away as Oscar Gamble is retired. Brings up Chet Lemon. Sox got some work to do if they want to get that run to keep their streak going. 2-5, well, that's a single. That's a good start for Lemon. Solid single. He's a C stealer. He's not going to go anywhere, but he will be held. So runners at first, 1 out for Soderholm. 5-7 struck him out. Leonard getting the whiff on Soderholm. It's up to Jim Essien. 3-8 for Essien. Ground ball to short. Innings over. So the streak of consecutive innings with a run ends for the Sox at 3. So we go to the 5th. Score does not change. It is 4-3 Royals. And now this is the point of weakness inning for Chris Knapp. So Wilbur Wood certainly still kind of just mingling down there, trying to stay loose just in case. Frank White doubled his first trip, 5-4. Fly ball center field X, that's Lemon. He's a 3 E13. 3 and a 5 could be interesting. We'll see if he can get to this. A 3 and a 5 is a single. It will drop in for a single. There's a 10, and there's no errors on the 10. No error on the 10, but it is going to be a single. So Lemon unable to reach it as that one drops in front of him. So Frank White 2 for 2. Now he's an A stealer, so he's definitely going to be looking to run here. And again, there is no adjustment from the catcher. And as an A stealer, if you look at our chart again, advanced being held, the deduction you get for an A stealer is 2. So double A and A is a -2. So we do have a -2 factor. So Frank White starts with an A. He starts as a 15, but it drops to a 13. So 1-13, he'll make it. And he does. So this time, stolen base is successful. And Dave Nelson will be up. Runner at second, nobody out. Knapp to Nelson. 6-6 struck him out. Big strikeout there to keep the runner at second base without any advancement. And that's going to bring up Hal McRae, the dangerous Hal McRae. He is singled and doubled. 3-4. He's going to walk this time, so he continues to reach base. Puts runners at first and second with 1 out. And Al Cowan's the batter. And one more base runner, and Knapp will reach his point of weakness. In fact, this is probably his last batter. With the lefty Mayberry coming up and Porter as well, they've got Wilbur Wood ready to go. So last chance for Knapp. He better make it a good one. Double play would be great. 4-10. Won't be a double play, but it will be a fly ball left field B for out number 2. Run on second cannot go to third. So now Mayberry coming up, and Bob Lemons made the call to the bullpen. And that will be it for Chris Knapp. Chris Knapp is out of there, and Wilbur Wood will be coming on, the lefty. Wilbur Wood, the rubber-armed Wilbur Wood, will be on. And now it's a showdown between him and John Mayberry. Wish I could speak, it would be nice. So him and John Mayberry will be facing off here in this one. Big situation here. First and second, 2 outs. 2-5. Mayberry against a lefty. A 1 is a single. Anything else he lines to second. Had he been facing a righty, 1-7 would be a single. So unless this is a 1, it'll be snagged by Orta and the inning will be over. It's a 3. Good thing. If he was facing a righty, that would have been a base hit. And we would have had bases loaded. But instead, it's a line out to second. Inning's over. Close the book on Knapp. He goes 4 2/3. Faces 21 batters. And I'll figure out the rest later. But right now, because I don't know if I'm going to do this as a premiere or just as a recorded video, and I don't want to bog things down. So we'll check things out near the end. So now, Leonard coming back out. He's got a fatigue of 8, so he's good to go for a while as long as he's effective. And it's got the top of the order to deal with in Ralph Garp. 4-7. 4-7 is a leadoff walk to Ralph Garp. So now, C. Steeler, he will be held, but he's not going anywhere. Here's Bannister. 5-8. That's a ground ball, second base X. That's Frank White. And he is a 1. E10. Now we will roll the D20 this time because it's going to determine whether there's a force play or a double play or whatever. So 1 and a 3 might actually get through. I guess I should have been rolling that 1 on the other ones too, just to check for base hits. That was my bad, my mistake of not doing that. A 1 and a 3 is actually a single with 2 stars. No, I'm sorry, 1 and a 3. He will get to that. Okay, I didn't need. Never mind. I'm thinking of something else. 1 and a 3 is a G2. And that's a fielder's choice on the play. Actually, nobody's on base, so there's no fielder's choice, just a ground out. 10, no error. Okay, I'm getting... No, there is a guy on first. What am I doing? Okay, I'll get it straight in a minute. Temporary brain freeze. All right, a 10 and a 10, there is no error. So G2 means a fielder's choice. So it's all that to say it's a 4-6 fielder's choice. How about that? Let's get back to reality here. All right, George Orta. 1 out, 1 on for Orta. Orta, 6-5 against a left-hander is a strikeout. So Leonard's back to reality. He comes in and firing. But now he's got a big showdown with Zisk. 2-4. 2-4 is a fly to center. That's going to end the inning. Nothing doing in the 5th. 5 are in the books from Comiskey. It is still Kansas City clinging to a 4-3 lead. And Wilbur Wood, of course, coming back out. He's only faced 1 batter, so he can go several innings. He's going to face another lefty in Darryl Porter, catcher. And there's not a whole lot on the Kansas City bench because of the 2 injuries. Their bench is pretty well. I mean, you're talking about Pete Lecoq, Joe Zed, Bob Heiss, Buck Martinez, John Wathan. Those are your bench players for Kansas City that are available. 5-3 for Wood against a lefty. 5-3 is actually going to be a base hit. So Darryl Porter fought off a knuckleball and gets the base hit. He's an E stealer. He will not be held. Here's Cookie Rojas. 2-8 for Rojas against a lefty is a solid single to center. So Porter going to hold up at second. He's not all that fast, so he runs at a 12, which is okay, but you don't want to make the first out at third base. So runners at first and second. Nobody out. And here's Tom Poquette. Good thing about bringing in Zed, and I think they will. I think Whitey's going to make that move. So Joe Zed, and I've never figured out how to pronounce his name, but I don't think I've ever heard it pronounced, but it's Z-D-E-B. So I'm not sure if it's Joe Zeb, where the D is silent. I don't know. Never heard it pronounced, so I don't know. But I know he's effective against lefty pitching, so that's why he's in there. And he'll stay in the game to play right field. He'll be a 3E10, so not that much of a drop-off. Poquette was a 3E9, so not much of a drop-off at all. So Joe Zeb is going to come in and pinch hit in a big spot here against Wilbur Wood, looking for the double play. It's a 4-7, and that is a fly ball to center field. Against a lefty, that would have been a walk, so maybe Whitey should have stuck with Poquette, but you don't know that when you're playing percentages. So there's 1 away. for Freddie Patek. 6-10 for Patek. Wood against the lefty, against the righty rather. 6-10 is a ground ball shortstop X. That's Bannister, and that's an adventure every time. Remember, he had those 3 errors a couple of games ago. Bannister is a 4, E48. So he has to have a good D20 roll here at least. 4 and a 5, that's going to be a base hit. 4 and a 5 is an SI1, so at least the runners won't score if there's no error. Although that's a 17, so that's probably bad news. 48, no, actually 15, 16, and 18 are errors, but not a 17. So it's just a SI1 for Patek, and it's going to load the bases. Could have been a lot worse, but now the bases are loaded for Frank White and only 1 out. And Wood trying to get that double play ball if he can. Get out of this inning. Here's White. They're at double play depth. 1-8 against a lefty. Ground ball third base B, and that's going to score a run. They were playing for the double play. So he will reach on the fielder's choice. Patek is out 5-4, but they couldn't turn the double play in time, so Porter will score, and Rojas will go to third. So this Kansas City leads it now 5-3, and there's 2 outs for Dave Nelson. 2 outs and runners on the corners. Dave Nelson. Now, Frank White is an ace stealer. They could try to steal and get 2 runners into scoring position. He stole last time. Tough call. Dave Nelson's got a ton of walks against lefties, though, so they're going to let Dave Nelson hit. 3-8, and he missed the walk. He got a ground ball to first. Look at all these walks, and he found a 3-8. I'm sorry, 3-7. He found a 3-7, which is still a ground ball to second. So, tried to play the odds, and it didn't work that time, but they do get a run. And we go to the bottom of the 6th. It is 5-3 Kansas City. So, the short-handed Royals holding their own against the Sox. That might be all for Wilbur Wood. We'll have to wait and see. They do have some tough righties coming up, McRae and Cowens. So I'm thinking that they're going to go to the bullpen and bring in Bruce Dalcanton. So we'll see how that plays out. See how Bob Lemon feels at the moment. Right now is Jim Spencer, and he feels like Spencer ought to get a hit. 1-7, and he does on cue. 1-7 is a single for Spencer. His first hit of the game. He's an E-stealer. He will not be held. Here's Oscar Gamble. He's homered already. 1-6. He could have had a ballpark diamond shot again, but we're not playing those rules. It's a fly to left. 1 away for Chet Lemon. 2-12 for Lemon. Line out shortstop Max. That's a double play. Line to short for out number 2, and then a 6-3 double play. So that's going to end the inning in a bad way for the Sox. They thought they might have had something going with a leadoff single, but it did not come to fruition. So we go to the top of the 7th, and it will be Bruce Dalcanton. He will be coming on for the Sox. Wilbur Wood goes an inning and a third. Not all that effective. He did give up a run, and he was in trouble a lot. So since he wasn't that effective, they're going to go ahead and turn to Dalcanton against these righties. So Dalcanton's going to be facing Hal McRae, who's already reached base 3 times. Single, double, and a walk. Now he's back to facing a right-hander, 6-8. And he's going to walk again. Look at all these outs in column 6, and he found the 6-8 walk. So McRae manages to find his way on again. He is a B stealer, but he was already caught once, so they're not going to try it again, I don't believe. So it's Al Cowens' time. 3-4 for Cowens. Ground ball pitcher B, so it's a fielder's choice. They'll call it 1-4. And now Cowens is the new runner at first. He's a B stealer also, but don't think they're going to want to take a chance with that. So, let's see what we've got here. For John Mayberry, tough lefty to face. 4-4 for Dalcanton is a fly ball center field X. That is Chet Lemon. He's a 3-E-13 for Lemon. 3 and a 10, he will get to that. And a 13 and a 10, he'll make that play. Get to that no problem. Out number 2. So 2 down. for Darryl Porter. 1-8 for Porter, struck him out, and that's the end of the inning. So Dow Canton comes up large in relief to keep the Sox from falling any further behind. 5-3. Don't know how far you can expect to make up if you get too much further behind. I mean, they are the hitmen, but still, you don't want to get way out there. So we will go to the bottom of the 7th here at Comiskey, and you know what that means. So as soon as Susan and Harry are ready, we will be getting things done here on the fly, running late as usual. So let's see what we can do here. Don't know why it's not doing what I want it to do. Perhaps this time it'll work. We'll see. Still not doing what I want it to do. Alright, let's try this again. This is not good. I should have had this stuff up earlier and I didn't. And now I'm trying to do this on the fly. I apologize for this, folks. I don't know where it is. And there's no pause button on this, unfortunately, when I'm doing it on the computer. Or not on the computer, but on YouTube. So I'm just going to try to be semi-entertaining while I find what I need to find. Don't know why I can't find it. This is very strange. You would think in my history I could find this. Try one more time. If I can't get it this time, then I might just give up. It should be right here, and for some reason it is not. And I don't know why. Well, may have to do without Harry tonight, because Harry doesn't want to cooperate. Oh well, don't know what to tell you on that one. Don't know what to say about that one. Don't know why. So, sorry about that, folks. It doesn't look like there's going to be cooperation from Harry in this one, so don't know what the situation was or why it didn't work out like I want it to. For some reason it seems like all my past stuff is not there anymore, and I don't know why. Very frustrating. Very frustrating, folks. Don't think this is going to happen, folks. It doesn't look like this is going to cooperate. Maybe they took the videos down that I was using. I don't know. Nancy Faust. I don't know why it wouldn't be on there. Very strange. Very strange indeed. Very strange indeed. Okay, well, sorry about that. Sorry about the delay there, but I was trying to add some frivolity and the technical difficulties took over. So back to the business at hand, which is the ball game. 5-3, bottom of the 7th. Leonard has an 8 fatigue rating, so he's still good. 3-10 for Soderholm. He's going to pop it to short. One away. 5-6 struck him out. So Essien out on strikes, out number 2. So Leonard rising up here and pitching very well late in the game. 2-6. Well, as soon as I say that, Gar gets a single. So 2-out single for Gar. He's not going to go anywhere though. He's a C stealer. Will be held. Here's Bannister, 6-9. Ground ball shortstop X. That is Patek. And Patek is a 2 E32. 2-1, that's a base hit. 2-1 is a single 1 star. There's a 9, and he's a 32. There is no error, but it is a base hit for Bannister. He snuck it past Patek. So, Sox still trying to get something done here. 2 on, 2 out for George Orta. Orta capable of delivering. 6-3, but it's against Leonard. That's a fly ball left field X. That's Hal McRae, who's not the fleetest of defenders out there. Hal McRae is a 4 E17. He's better as a DH, but he might get lucky and catch this. 4-16. He will get to that. Now it's just a matter of checking on the error. A 4-16 is an F2. Now he is an E17, and that is a 10. In fact, it's a 10 is probably a good sign. E17. There is no 10, so it's a good play. Hal McRae shaky, but stuck with it. Ball in glove, inning is over. And we go to the bottom of the 8th, so maybe not having Harry available to inspire them may cost the Sox their chance to come back. Sometimes they depend on that as a rally mechanism, but it didn't happen. So here, Cookie Rojas steps in against Dal Canton, starting his 2nd inning of work. 2-7 for Rojas. He's a solid single. So Cookie Rojas gets himself his 2nd hit in place of George Brett. He is an E stealer, so he's not going to be held and he's not going anywhere. Joe Zed's going to have to bat now against a right-hander. 3-10 struck him out. So he struck him out, 1 away. Brings up Freddie Patek. Dal Canton to Patek, 1-5. Ooh, Patek did some damage here. 1-10's a triple. 11-20 is a double. Run will probably score either way. It's a 10, so it's a triple, so we know he's going to score. We don't have to factor anything. Yet another triple by the Royals. That's the 3rd triple of the game. This one by Patek. Lead is now 6-3, and the infield is going to have to come in for Frank White. 1 on 3rd, 1 out. Frank White infield in. 5-7. Ground ball shortstop A. So let's look at the little chart here that tells us about infield in, and an A, ground ball. So if we look at, and this is one part I do like to use the Super Advanced for, infield in with the runner at 3rd. Ground ball A is a 1, means batter out, runner holds. So Patek held up, and Frank White grounds to Bannister at short for out number 2. That brings up Dave Nelson. 3-8, and Nelson grounds to short to end the inning. So 1 run's all they get, but it might be all they need the way Leonard's going. It is a 6-3 ball game, and the Royals do have a good bullpen as well. So if Leonard starts to get tired or ineffective, they can go to their bullpen. Right now, he will begin his point of weakness inning, right now, inning number 8. But he does have a 6-3 lead to protect. And they do have a lefty and a righty in the bullpen, Steve Mangori and Mark Littell, both in the bullpen. Loosening. 2-8. 2-8 for Zisk is a solid home run right there in the middle of his card. Blast for Richie Zisk. Unfortunately for the Sox, it's a solo shot. I believe that's his 5th of the season, so he's been coming on with the power lately. Cuts the lead to 6-4. So it's a 2-run lead now. Here's Spencer. 5-8. 5-8 is a ground ball second base X. That's Frank White. He's a 1E10. Don't need to check the 1 part. E10 and an 11. E10, there is no 11, so it's good play for Frank White. 1 away for Oscar Gamble. Gamble, 4-6 against a lefty. And that's a 112 double. 13-20 is a single. And that may be all for Dennis Leonard. 14, that's a single for Oscar Gamble. But Whitey Herzog may have seen enough. Tying run is now at the plate in the form of Chet Lemon. What do they want to do? They're going to actually, you know what? He's going to stick with his veteran for one more time against Lemon. 6-10, ground ball shortstop X. That's Patek. He's a 2E32. 2 and a 9. 2 and a 9 is a G2, so that's a fielder's choice chance. 15 and E32. It's an error. 30. I think he's had that before. An E6. So yet another. Well, we have one on White. Now we got one on Patek. So that's an E6. Can't blame Leonard for that one. That was Patek's fumble instead of a fielder's choice. It's an error. And now they have 2 on with 1 out for Eric Soderholm. And now they don't want Leonard to possibly lose the game, so they're going to go ahead and make the move and bring in Mark Littell, their closer. See if he can get a 5-out save. So Mark Littell. Mark Littell. And I think Tabby is at the door. So let's see if I can open that up without messing anything up. Come on, Tabby. All right, Tabby's in. You might even be able to hear her squawking. She is in. Hopefully she will stay out of the way and let us finish off this game. So right now Mark Littell is on to replace Leonard. Leonard ends up going 7 1/3, facing 34 batters. And I'll do the rest later. Can't finish him off anyway. There's 2 runners on base that are his responsibility. So Eric Soderholm facing Littell. Tight situation, 210. And that's a 1-16 chance because there's no ballpark effect. A 1-16 chance for Soderholm to go deep. It would be a 3-run shot and the Sox would take the lead on a 1-16, 17-20. He flies out to right. It's a 7. It's gone. Eric Soderholm with the blast. He greets Mark Littell. And Mark Littell must be having flashbacks to Chris Chambliss because that one is gone. And he has blown the lead. Dennis Leonard's win is gone. And now everything is on Littell. That is the 2nd home run of the game. The Southside Hitman. That error on Patek. Huge. And now it is a 7-6 lead for the Sox. And Whitey is stunned. Whitey is upset. Here is Essien. 1-2 for Essien is a walk. And there's that walk after a home run, which seems to happen quite a bit. He's an E-Stealer. He's not going anywhere. So go to Ralph Garr. 6-5. 6-5 against the lefties. A ground ball shortstop X. They're going to give Patek another chance. 2E32. 2 and a 15. He will get to that, and it would be a double play if he can field it. The error chance is a 14. So an E32, and there is no 14, so it will be a double play. 6-4-3. So this time he makes the play. 6-4-3 double play. But the 4 runs for the Sox, and all of a sudden what was a 6-3 deficit is now a 7-6 lead as we go to the bottom of the 9th. I'm sorry, top of the 9th. So Dennis Leonard shaking his head. Littell upset for giving up that lead. And now the Sox will turn to their closer, Laren LeGros. He'll be coming on. Usually he has to pitch a couple innings to try for a save. This time he's only got to go 1. But he's got to face the heart of the order, McRae, Cowens, and Mayberry. So no easy task there. Dow Canton actually went 2 innings, pitched pretty well. Gave it the 1 run on that triple to Patek, but kept his team in the game for Soderholm to make that big 3-run homer. And now, top of the 9th, it is McRae against LeGros. 2-8 for McRae. Pops at the 3rd, 1 away. So the Sox 2 outs away from an improbable victory. Coming from behind, here's Al Cowens, but it's not over yet by any means. 6-4, fly ball center field X, that is Lemon. He's a 3 E13. 3 and a 16, he'll get to that. E13 and an 11. See if there's an error on E13 and an 11. E13, there is no 11, so it's good play for Chet Lemon. 2 up, 2 down. It's all up to John Mayberry, who is leading the league in home runs with 12. So, at this stage of the season. So, no gimme yet. But at least it's off LeGros's card. 5-10, struck him out. That's the ball game. So LeGros forced his will on Mayberry and got the strikeout to end the ball game. Sox win it 7-6. 2 crucial errors by, well, at least one really crucial error by the Royals really did them in. And like I said, it took the win away from Leonard. Put the loss on Mark Littell. He ended up going 2/3 of an inning. And let's see here. 2/3 of an inning, he only faced 3 batters. Gave up a hit and a walk on the home run. That was it. LeGros gets the save, and Dow Canton gets the win. LeGros a 1-2-3 ninth inning with a strikeout added for good measure. So the Sox, let's look at the totals here. For the Royals, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 hits. So 6 runs. Let's put this over here so you can see it better. 6 runs, 12 hits, and 2 errors for the Royals. For the Sox, let's see here for the Sox. Actually, there were 2 errors on Patek, were they not? 2 errors on Patek. Did I put one to Frank White by mistake, I think? Yeah, I sure did. It was 2 both errors were on Patek, no errors on White. They were both on Patek. And that was after I did a feature on how good of an artificial turf shortstop Patek was. Well, Comiskey, not artificial turf, so he's not used to those bumpy conditions. Maybe that cost him. For the White Sox, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 hits. So both teams pound out 12 hits. Let's check the left on base. For the Royals, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They left 7 on. Not too bad. For the Sox, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They left 6 on. So there's your final totals. White Sox, 7 runs, 12 hits, no errors, 6 left. Kansas City, 6 runs, 12 hits, 2 errors, and 7 left. Winning pitcher Bruce Dow Canton. The loser was Mark Littell. And Larry LeGros the save. The Sox go to 20-13 on the season after 33 games. So a big win there, and they got one more with the Kansas City Royals before they hit the road again. So they're enjoying their stay at Comiskey. And even though there were technical difficulties with Harry Carey, apparently Harry Carey's spirit took them into this comeback and got them where they needed to be. So apologize for that delay in the trying to get that 7th inning stretch thing going. I should have had that better prepared, and I didn't. Sorry about that. But hopefully you enjoyed the good game. A lot of hitting, a lot of excitement going back and forth. And in the end, it was the Sox outlasting the injury-riddled Royals by the score of 7-6. So, hope you enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. And stay safe out there. Enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it. And I will see you all down the road.